Greetings, BookTube. It's Michael Romeo, and I'm here to talk about some books. And in this case, it's some very specific books. I'm doing a tag, and it is the Shakespeare Journey Tag. And here's how I came to be about doing it, because I wasn't actually tagged in it. But this tag was co-created by three wonderful booktubers. One is Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading. And the second one is Nicole at A Day of Small Things, and Jason at Old Blues Chapter and Verse. And I will link all of them down below so you can check them all out. They're all great channels. But I saw it on Kelly's Books I'm Not Reading. I saw it on that channel and commented what a great tag it was and how much I enjoyed the prompts. And Kelly suggested I go ahead and do it because I enjoyed it so much. So here I am doing it, even though I wasn't officially tagged in it. I was kind of tagged in the comments. But it is a really good tag for people who love Shakespeare and people who are curious about Shakespeare. And I hope a lot of people will see it and be inspired to start exploring Shakespeare if they haven't done that at any point, because Shakespeare really is a lot of fun. He is. His plays are just awesome, whether it's his comedies or his historical works. Um, they're great. That's why he is who he is, I guess. But anyway, I'm joined by two members of my pack this time. We've got Toby back here. Toby, you want to say hi? There he is. Say hi, Toby. And I got my little one, my little Tetley here. She's saying hi too. Yeah. Okay, you can go back to sleep. Okay, so starting with the first tag, or first prompt rather. What was your first experience reading Shakespeare and what was it like? My first experience was in junior high school, and I got a copy of Romeo and Juliet from the library. Got it from, I guess it was from the youth section of the library, um, and it just happened to be annotated. I didn't know what annotated meant at that time or what it was, but it was an annotated um, printing of it, and it explained a lot of the more difficult passages, a lot of the more difficult dialogue, um, where meaning could get lost in the translation from the English that Shakespeare wrote in and the English we speak today. Good example is when Juliet at the balcony does, "Wherefore art thou Romeo?" I mean, it sounds like she's saying, "Where are you, Romeo?" But that's not what she's saying. Wherefore means why. I learned that from that annotation. Wherefore means why. So she's not saying, "Where are you, Romeo?" She's saying, "Why are you, Romeo? Why in the world do you have to be Romeo of all people?" Um, so it was a positive experience for me. It was a discovery. I enjoyed reading Romeo and Juliet, and because I had the explanations there to teach me what I was reading. Shortly after that, in one of my English classes at school, the teacher decided to have us do A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I was just blown away by that one. That was just delightful, absolutely delightful. Um, I noticed as I'm filming this that my lighting is getting darker and brighter and darker and brighter, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. I hope it doesn't annoy anybody. Not sure what to do about it, but there it is. It's dark again. Oh, there goes light again. Anyway, maybe it won't do it on the playback. I hope. Anyway, second prompt. Has the reading of a Shakespeare play ever brought you to tears? What scene was it, and where were you when it happened? No, I've never been brought to tears by a scene in Shakespeare, unless it was I was laughing so hard that I crying from laughing so hard. That did happen with some of Taming of the Shrew and a couple of other plays, but you do about nothing. Um, because the comedies really are wonderful. Even though basically what I was once told was a Shakespeare comedy means nobody dies, and a Shakespeare tragedy means almost everybody dies. So I'm not 100% sure that's true, but it can seem that way sometimes. Um, so no, I've never been led to tears unless it was tears of laughter. Number three, are there any people that have played a significant role in your Shakespeare journey? The English teacher that uh, helped us with A Midsummer Night's Dream. Um, because again, parts of it were difficult to understand, especially for kids our age at that time. Um, but he was patient and he taught us, and we most of the class came out understanding A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it was great. Um, do you have number four? Do you have a favorite book or film about Shakespeare? I can't say I've read any books about Shakespeare, and I haven't seen any documentaries about Shakespeare. I have seen Shakespeare in Love, but I think that was like well, maybe 99.9% fiction. Um, the only truth in it was there was this playwright named Shakespeare. Um, but it was still an okay movie. Judi Dench was in it as Queen Elizabeth, and Judi Dench is just wonderful in anything she does. And probably the only thing that I really saw about Shakespeare was an episode of Doctor Who when um, the Doctor and his companions help out Shakespeare in a difficult situation that has to do with witches. And what? What was that? What do you mean Doctor Who's not real? Of course Doctor Who's real. Of course, that was factual. Jeez. Doctor Who is real. Don't try to tell me different. Number five. Which character in Shakespeare most resembles you and in what ways? Oi. What character in Shakespeare most resembles you and in what ways? I know there are some I would like to resemble me because they're cavalier and dashing and stuff that I'm just not. And excuse me, just 1 second. I just realized I forgot to put on my do not disturb, and I'm going to do that right now while everybody's watching. I don't know how much of that's going to show on the playback, but now it's on do not disturb, so if anybody phone calls me, it'll just go straight to my voicemail. I discovered that because a notification popped up. But anyway, what character most resembles me and why? I would have to say, of the ones that I've read or seen, it would have to be Hamlet, because I can be moody and broody, and Hamlet was definitely moody and broody. Um, I can angst over stuff with the best of them, and so I would say Hamlet of the ones that I've read. I mean, I still haven't read all of Shakespeare, and I need to rectify that. But yeah, we'll go with Hamlet for now. And let's see, number six. Which play would you most like to see performed in a theater and why? Oh my goodness. Pick one. Um, which Shakespeare play would I like to see performed in the theater and why? gosh, there's just so many. Um, I'm gonna say most of them. I mean, really, if you enjoy Shakespeare, it's hard to just pick one that you want to see done. I've enjoyed the film versions of a number of Shakespeare plays, and just stands to reason that I would enjoy the same ones on stage, like Much Ado About Nothing, A Midsummer Night's Dream, The Tempest. Uh, but yeah, I would like to see just about any Shakespeare play performed live by a talented cast. Um, that would be that would be awesome. And let's see, number 7. What actor throughout history would you most like to have seen play Hamlet while in his prime? Wow. What actor throughout history would you most like to have seen play Hamlet while in his prime? Hamlet is such a dynamic role. And oh my goodness, I've seen Mel Gibson do it on film. I've seen David Tennant do it on film. Um, I understand Benedict Cumberbatch has done it, and I would really like to see that version. But I get from this question that it's more like somebody who didn't do it. Who would you like to have seen do it that didn't do it? It doesn't say that. That's just how I'm reading it. One actor throughout history would you most like to have seen play Hamlet while in his prime? Hmm. Oh, golly gee. Um, Several come to mind. I think Jack Nicholson, when he was young, would have been an awesome Hamlet. Um, he was he would have brought a cockiness to it that other actors didn't bring to the role. Um, Definitely when he was young, though, because Hamlet's a young character. I mean, Mel Gibson probably shouldn't have done Hamlet. He did a great job as Hamlet, but he was a little old for the part. Um, who else? Who else? Come on, Michael. Think. Michael York, British actor from the '60s. I bet could have done a bang up Hamlet. It may have even done so. Um, who else? Who else? I want to see the Benedict Cumberbatch one. Um, he, of course, is the best known for Sherlock in this country. Um, and probably going with contemporary actors, I'd probably like to see Matthew McConaughey do it. Again, maybe when he was a little younger. He might be too old for it now. But I can see him doing a really good Hamlet. Um, so there's some. There's some. I'm sure if I kept thinking about it, I'd come up with more. But we only want this video to be a certain length of time, right? Number 8, deliver your favorite speech or soliloquy from a Shakespeare play. Yikes, I didn't come prepared for that. When we get to the end, I'm going to see if I can find one and do it. Okay? And I know what one I want to do because it's just classic. But we're going to save it for the end because I got to find it on my tablet first. Number 9. Do any of Shakespeare's plays intimidate you? If yes, what play and why? Oh, I think some of the bigger historical ones. King Lear, I think, has a little bit of intimidation in it. Probably because of a version of it I've seen on film that is just staggeringly dynamic. And I think there's a film question coming up. No, I guess not. so I can go ahead and talk about it now. Um, but it was a movie called Ron, and it's just RAN, but with a little thing over the A. And it was a Japanese movie, Japanese version of King Lear. And I watched this movie. My wife has witnessed this. This movie comes on, and I am bead onto the screen, just right there. An earthquake could happen, and unless the TV fell over, I would not break my concentration on this movie. I am so fascinated by it. Um, and I think because of that, I figured the source material has got to be really, really strong. Um, so I find that I'm a little bit nervous about going into King Lear because of that. And I'm telling you, if you're a Shakespeare fan and you have not seen this movie, Ron, okay, it's in Japanese and it has subtitles. I'm gonna put a link to the trailer, because the trailer is on YouTube. I'm gonna put a link to the trailer down below. Just watch the trailer, and as impacting as the trailer is, it's just the tip of the iceberg for the movie. Okay, so I'll go with King Lear for that one. Number 10. What tips would you give to intimidated readers coming to Shakespeare for the first time? Just do it. Start with the comedies because they're easier. Much Ado About Nothing is a delightful comedy. Taming of the Shrew is delightful. The Tempest is delightful. Midsummer Night's Dream, delightful. Just dive in. The language is going to seem strange at the beginning, but you eventually get into the flow of it, and it begins to read easily, and you find yourself suddenly understanding what you're reading. And when that happens, it's like, wow, I'm getting it. And yeah, so just do it. Just jump in with one of the comedies, or two of the comedies, or three of the comedies. Um, save the heavier material for when you've gotten your feet wet. Okay. Let's see. 11. Which is your favorite Shakespeare play and why? My favorite Shakespeare play and why? I hesitate to say King Lear because I haven't read King Lear. I've only seen that Japanese movie version of King Lear, and for all I know, that may be such a departure from the source material that there's no resemblance. I don't know, maybe. So I'm gonna not say King Lear for this one. I will probably say Much Ado About Nothing. Wonderful. I was just gonna say wonderful comedy of errors, but that's another one. Uh, it's just a wonderful comedy, relationship comedy. It's probably the rom com of its day. Uh, the characters are great, the situations are great, um, the dialogue is great. What you do about nothing. And then I wince and I go, maybe I should say Midsummer Night's Dream, because that's another one that's full of surprises. Um, so one of those, Midsummer Night's Dream or Much Ado About Nothing. Tag of the Booktubers is number 12. I'm not going to, because in my circle of booktube friends, the only one I know who's a Shakespeare fan is Kelly, and she's the one who tagged me. Um, so I'm just going to leave it open ended. If you are interested in this tag, go ahead and do it. Be my guest. I'd love to see other people and their answers, no matter what your level of experience is with Shakespeare. I would love to hear your answers on this because Shakespeare is an experience in himself. Um, so I guess I'll just leave it at that. Anybody who wants to do it, do it. Um, Again, I'm going to tag these three wonderful people who created this: Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading, Nicole at A Day of Small Things, and Jason at Old Blues Chapter and Verse. And I'm going to leave the link for the trailer of for Ron, the Japanese version of King Lear, so you can just get a little hint of what that movie is like. And I guess that's it. Other than this has really made me want to go and read some more Shakespeare. I haven't read Shakespeare in a while. The ones I've read, I've enjoyed. I don't think there's been one I haven't enjoyed yet. But again, I haven't read them all. So, but I really do need to. I really do need to go back and finish reading Shakespeare. Unfortunately, I can't do the. There's a reading event called Shake-tember. Yeah, Shake-tember, and I am just so up to here in September that there's no way I could add in reading Shakespeare. Oh, maybe I can. Why not? Why not? Maybe I will join Shake-tember. Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to read some Shakespeare in September. And maybe at the end of the month, but I'll get it in there. I make that promise to you, Kelly. And that's it. Great tag, wonderful prompts. Of course, it helps if you like Shakespeare. Um, but dude, give me your thoughts down in the comments. What's your experience with Shakespeare? How much do you like Shakespeare? If you've never encountered Shakespeare, why? Why not? Um, yeah, just leave me the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up because it always helps with the YouTube universe of algorithms. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe um, because it's fun. You get to know when I put up more videos, and we can like kind of pretend we're having a cup of coffee together. That's what I'm going to start doing: is having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in my hand and offer you all some and make it like a tea party, a virtual tea party. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, that's it. Shakespeare lives. Have a great time, y'all. Bye. I am back. Addendum, addendum. Apparently, I forgot to do my soliloquy. And I have chosen a very famous soliloquy delivered by Hamlet. And I'm probably going to rip it to shreds. So forgive me in advance. And don't let it put you off Shakespeare, okay? But here we go. I'm going to give it a shot. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end, the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For if that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause, there's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of thy unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with the bare bodkin? Who would throttles bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne No traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is slicked over with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment, with disregard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. There it is. I just destroyed Hamlet. Hope you enjoyed it.